All right, we're going to discuss adding decimal numbers. And there's a two-step process that we use to add decimal numbers. And in a lot of ways, it ends up being very similar to just adding numbers together using a vertical alignment. So let's take a look at this. So the first step is to arrange the numbers in columns with the decimal points in vertical line. So the decimal point is the way to line up all the places of the number and keep everything straight. So let's see how this works. So I'm going to write down the first number, which is 4.326 right here. And then what we're going to do is for each of these decimal numbers that come after this, we want the decimals to line up. So so the unit, like the 4, will line up with the unit of the next number, and then so far down the list for each of the other placeholders. So 218.6004. So we have the 8, 1, 2, 218. And then 0.6004. See how the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths place are all lined up. And then we'll continue this process. It's now 7.09. And then we do 15. And then we also have so we can put a decimal right there. And then we have 0 point, so the decimals are all lined up here, 87782. Okay, now before we move on to step 2, I want you to take a look at this option. So there's an option here. And you may want to read the option right now, and you may want to consider doing this. It's not required, but it may help you. Depends on how you think. You may want to write zeros in some of the right-hand columns of the decimal numbers so that each number show that the same number of decimal places. So notice that the most amount of decimals that we have here is 5. So 5 decimals in this last number. So what the option is telling us is that we may want to put zeros in so that all of the numbers have 5 decimals and they're all lined up like this. And so this may make it a little bit easier for you to add in step 2. So in step 2 it says add each column from right to left as with whole numbers. Insert the decimal point. Okay, so we want to insert the decimal point right now. You might as well. Okay, so we have 0, 0, 0, 0, and then 2 going down the list. And as mentioned, we go from right to left like you were adding just whole numbers. So we would have 2 when you add down the list. And then we move to the next decimal, 04008, add those up, and we get 12. And we carry the 1, just like when we're adding whole numbers. And then we have 1 plus 6 plus 7, so 13, 14. Carry the 1. 1, 2, 3, 12, 19. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, then 10, 18. Carry the 1. 5, 13, 25. Carry the 2. So we have 2, 3, 4. And then we have 245.89422. So you may be asked to round to a certain decimal place, which is has already been discussed. So you may be asked to round your answer. In this case, we're not asked this, but in a question, you may be asked to round to a certain decimal place. So keep that in mind. So for example, let's just say we were rounding to the nearest hundredth. Then that would be rounding to 2 decimal places. So look at the third decimal. So that's a 4. So we round down. So that would just be 245.89. So we're not rounding here, but just typical rounding if you are instructed to do so. All right, let me know if you have any concerns. I'll be more than happy to help.